Hello everybody, I'm JayLeonardJ, and today we're going to be checking out the mini versions of the Fuzzrite and the Epoch boost by Catalinbread. So the cats at Catalinbread got two pretty popular pedals in their catalogs and shrunk it down to little bite-sized morsels here. We have the Epoch Boost Mini and the Fuzzrite Mini. Now the Epoch Boost has been a pretty popular pedal for a long time. It's their take on the Echoplex preamp, which is this really wonderful preamp that just brings some, I don't know, juiciness and texture to your amplifiers. Most people keep them on all the time, so I think a small version of this to kind of tuck away on your board goes a long way. It actually makes a lot of sense. And then on the other side, we have the Fuzzrite. It's actually made in collaboration with Mark Mosley from Mosrite, and they did a collaboration together to bring the classic circuit back to life, and they kept the name the Fuzzrite. This is the smaller version of it, a very wow, crazy sounding fuzz, very classic, very 60s, very psychedelic, very fun. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna get both of these pedals, throw them down on the bench, and we're just gonna tinker around with them. I think you're pretty familiar with these pedals. It's just a smaller version, but I'm gonna show you some sounds, some textures we can get with it, and how we could implement the sound into our rigs. All right, let's plug in and have some fun. All right, we're all wired up and ready to rock and roll. I got my Telecaster. I'm going into a 1965 vintage Fender Deluxe amplifier, and I got both pedals here. Let's go start off with the Epoch Boost, the mini one, because actually the Epoch Boost is one of my favorite pedals. I love using these things, especially with really sterile amps, or maybe amps that just need that little bit of extra kind of punch. It adds a little bit of softness to my sound, gives me a little bit of magic in the low mid range, and this really nice kind of feeling of compression. It's a subtle thing, but it makes guitar so much fun to play. So this, we have a boost, we have our preamp. The boost is extra boost, clean boost we're gonna get, and then the preamp is the preamp for a vintage Echoplex unit. That's all the sounding characteristics. Let's go hear what that sounds like with the boost off. Guitar and amplifier. Epoch Boost. It's one of those things that you just want to leave on all the time. It just makes things sound better, especially with single coils. There's just a magic to it. So most of the magic here is pretty much up to noon. It's just a volume. Kind of max out around here, and then around here we start kind of getting some different subtle tonal shifts going on. Really, really pleasant. And then we have a boost if you want to start pushing our amp. It's a wonderful thing. For me, the way I like to use it is I'll actually just keep the boost off, and then I'll just find a nice sweet spot around here and just keep it on all the time. I even put it after my delays and time-based effects. I feel it just glues all the sounds together. So now let's get to the Fuzzrite. So this was a collaboration with Mark Mosley from Fuzzrite, and they put together, they got a bunch of old Fuzzrite fuzzes and really tuned it in. This is a silicon fuzz, and it's pretty gnarly stuff. I have the volume all the way up, and let's put the depth halfway and see what happens. It's a really old school, gnarly sounding fuzz. If I put the depth all the way on, we're just hearing one transistor. And it's warmer. And as we turn up the depth, we start mixing in that second transistor state. Gets really trumpety up high, get really, really cool effects, and it's actually changes its character depending on your pick attack as well. I actually like to give it a little bit of a lighter touch. I find that I get the most out of the pedal when I'm really approaching it softly. And if you're wondering how that Epoch boost changes the characters and fattens up all your pedals, check this out. I'm going to turn this on and then this, and just see what the Epoch does to my sound. And those are the new mini pedals from Catalinbread, the Epoch Boost and the Fuzzrite Fuzz. Well, that's it. That's the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to the page if you haven't done so already, and check out the links in the description because it really does help keep the lights on around here. Now, if you want to hear my review on these two pedals, check it out on Patreon because that's where I do all my reviews. The reviews are on Patreon, sponsored by the Patreon supporters. And my question for the people out there today is, if you could pick one of these pedals for your board, which one would you pick? Write it in the comments section below. That being said, I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.